Africans, our culture, Isintu, is the bedrock on which our values and belief systems lie. Today we tackle a tradition, a practice that has sparked a lot of debate among the younger generation, Lobola. And joining me to discuss Lobola today is Tryford and Pauline. My name is Hlengiwe Mtetwa and welcome to the Girls' Table. Welcome, lady and gent. You can take this opportunity to introduce yourself.
My name is Pauline Dendere, Bond Girl. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm almost 36.
All right.
Okay. No, my name is Tryford Kaseke. I'm just Tryford on Twitter. If you want to follow me, as she said also, my age. Yeah, me about that.
Lobolo, I'm a Lobola. You know, it's called by a lot of different names. What do you guys understand about Lobola?
Personally, Lobola is a form of appreciation for the girl child who's now leaving her home to set up house with a certain gentleman. That's what I understand about Lobola.
All right.
Yeah, from my understanding about an appreciation by the guy to the family of the lady for bringing up the future guy's wife. Yeah, that's it.
Do you guys think there is enough education or information about what Lobola is and what the intention was behind Lobola today in our day and age? Or because I remember attending a seminar where this gentleman that was speaking was saying Lobola is actually paying for the children or putting aside money for the children that are going to be born into the marriage, and has really nothing to do with appreciation. So do you think we are learning enough about the practice as it is as this generation?
As we grow older, the tradition falls away. Part of the tradition falls away. So you notice that maybe Lobola wasn't paid for appreciation, but for something totally different. But because somebody else understood it as appreciation, that has just been something that we were meant to believe and understand, and it's been taught into us. But this whole westernization, it's making us lose most of our tradition, and and something out of culture and out of robotically, but not understanding and doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to agree with Pauline, because the disadvantage of being African, if I can say, is that we don't have people that we're writing down these things so that we can now read them
exactly as they were.
Exactly as they were when they were being created. No one was able to write properly back then, unlike more probably the Europeans or the Western culture, how they are, because they have books. Imagine we have the Bible and we can still read it on 2,000 years from what? When it was written 2,000 years ago. But right now we don't have anything that can specifically tell us, no, we decided to pay Lobola because of this. We don't have that. So what do we do then? We just decide what we think best fits your own reasoning. Then
who is supposed to pay Lobola?
The men.
I think both should. If you want to make a payment, both should pay, because both are gaining something. One is gaining a wife, one is gaining a husband.
Okay.
No one is. What?
Maybe let me put my question into context, because growing up we knew the father of the groom or the family of the groom is the one that's supposed to pay the Lobola, and not the guy himself. And I feel like because now he is the one that's supposed to pay, that's what causing all this drama. Imagine I can't like you guys do. So who is supposed to pay Lobola? Do you think it's okay that the family pays, or the guy should pay for his own Lobola?
I mean, I think it depends with the family, but if the guy can afford to pay,
he should pay for himself.
He should pay on his own. But some families, they come together. Everyone just comes in and brings something, so that because the wife that's coming in is not just going to be his wife. It's going to be a person who's going to benefit the whole family. So the whole family has to contribute. And then we go and appreciate the family, and then we bring our wife home. As our wife.
Okay. No, I think probably back then the family would pay, because we didn't have jobs and no one could go to work so that they can work for their own cows. So probably you had to use your father's cow, since probably he had more years on this earth, so that maybe he has more wealth than you do. So I think that's where it started off as. But then as time went on, probably now you went to the guy, because the guy could now work and make his own money, and you could now pay That's what happened.
All right. So I think I heard Pauline talking about how culture is dynamic, and maybe they could have paid it for whatever reasons then, but now because of the dynamism of culture, we're
is here in Africa. We love money. That's why it has lasted so much. Because if you look at it, it doesn't have traditional essence that it had back then. Because marriage, what it was back then.
What did it have back then that it doesn't have now?
Back then, probably, yes, it was there to bring two families together. You bring something so that what we have some more money. Pay 10,000, bring 6-7 cows, that kind of thing. Seems as if it has changed, and it seems as if it's a punishment of sorts.
All right. So he says the culture is surviving because of greed. Do you agree?
No, I don't agree with him. Because if you go back into the Bible, we notice, I'm so sorry, I might not know the names, but we see who goes to Laban to pay the bride price?
He works, Jacob?
Yes, 7 years, right? So it emanates from way back. It's not something that is just modern. Yes, fine, I do agree with you on the part where you say that greed has made the Lobola practice survive. But not everyone is greedy. And for those who are being greedy, they're just abusing a culture that is supposed to stand and that is supposed to benefit our children and our children's children. So it's the way we go about it now that is wrong. It's not about why it's done, but how we do it. Because now he's talking about $10,000. Back then it was just inkomo, imbuzi, and what amabachi. But now, because one, we don't even have inkomo tinankai. My dad is 60-something years old. I got inkomo. So when my brother now wants to marry, what's the closest thing to inkomo? It's the money. Yabo. So it's our families who are doing it wrong. They are abusing the culture. But the culture, why? It's spot on.
No, I always hear that statement where people will say the way it's done is a problem, but itself is not the problem. But then the question is, we can't go to law and then say, well, the minimum is now this, or the maximum is now this.
Yes.
There is no one who ever agreed to that. Meaning, we all agree it's bad. But we can't just say it's bad then like
You're saying the way it's done because of the amount that's being charged. You speak about how Gudala it was just a cow or just imbuzi or just ikuba. Do you understand the value of a cow or the value inkomo had by culture and so forth and so forth? So are we valuing or devaluing the process because of currency yakona esetshenziswayo, so to speak?
Personally, I think it would be the currency essence this one. If we went back to the way it was supposed to be done in Komo, I'm not quite sure about the Ndebele culture, but in the Shona culture, when you marry, when you are charged in Komo 10, I would you go to get 10. No, for now, I've got 3. Okay, bring your 3 into our families. Our fathers, something that we charged 40 days. We'll keep on.
Would you be more comfortable if we went back to inkomo lamakuba and not money? Would that make you feel better?
No.
So because for you it's not about the money but about the practice itself?
Yeah, for me it's about the practice itself, because I'll go back to this point. Marriage isn't what it was back then. Right now we are trying by all means to push this 50-50 where everyone is doing everything equally. Because right now you can't then say someone pays this and then someone walks into that marriage. But when that marriage dissolves, you are equal parties, and when you go to court for a divorce or whatever, you then split everything 50-50. That's sort of like a disadvantage to the men, because now a marriage is not something that you're supposed to enjoy. Because if you look at it right now as it is in society.
Understand that we are not white. We are Africans. If we want to adopt the Western culture, we need to drop a whole lot of baggage that we've been carrying with us that pertain to men and women in marriage, and then we adopt the Western culture. The Western culture says that, well, if TV is anything to go by, that the bride's family is the one that pays for the wedding. You don't do anything. But there are other things in the Western culture that African men would go berserk if we started doing them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
We don't need to take their route. What I'm saying is we need to take our own route where we decide what is best for us, for everyone.
But who's we? Because what's best for you is clearly not what's best for Pauline, and it's clearly not what's best for me.
No, it becomes a problem where Pauline is saying Lobola is good and I'm the one who's paying and I'm saying it's bad. That's why you see that is a problem.
Okay, so we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll hear from Trafford what he thinks is the best case scenario for him paying Lobola. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Girls Table. We're continuing with our conversation about Lobola, and we have another guest joining us for our discussion, and her name is Klesha. Welcome, Klesha, to the Girls Table. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Klesha Nare. Yeah, thank you for that.
That's just about it.
Yeah.
All right, maybe before we continue the conversation that we're having, we might want to hear your 2 cents about where you stand with the whole issue of Lobola.
I think Lobola has outlived its purpose.
It is.
I really think so.
A friend
because I was thinking about Uguti, you hear men say, I can have my child. I think it was Gwagule purpose in the Skatsamkon. Okay, I can have my child. So I think Lobola also played a part in the Endabenzoguti.
Oh, you mean the child that is born out of a marriage?
Okay, let's say it's a marriage and then you guys break up and then you're like, so I can have my child. I think
okay,
because it catered for such issues also, but I think Lapas's corner.
So we
if we're to be true with ourselves, it's just outlived this purpose.
All right, I think I'm gonna like where she's coming from. But before the break, we try to say something about women are the only ones that are happy about getting married. So we want, who does Lobola benefit exactly? Because the money doesn't come to women, so why should we be the ones that are overexcited and jumping up and down? So who does Lobola benefit exactly?
Very good question.
Yeah.
It doesn't benefit anyone. So if it's not benefiting anyone, why should we continue? Because the thing now is, the thing about Lobola is, I think there's something about women that is sort of like is cooler. Something strikes you about men and you begin to think that men are bad. let me finish my chain of thought. Wait. Okay. So when you grow up thinking no, men are bad, when you get to that stage where you think no, I now want to get married, you have that doubt, does this guy really love me? And then for African women, that 10,000, that money, that thing, I don't know, maybe it gives you some kind of assurance that this guy loves me or something like that. Because that's why women fight for Lobola to stay more than men. If you really look at it, that's why women fight.
I disagree. You know why? Try today to go and marry someone's child and say Anglo. It's her father. It's her father that's going to be like, but we'll come back to that. You know what it benefits her?
It benefits family, like my parents, and
it benefits the girl's family.
The girl's family, but it benefits her. Mina, I'm leaving home and to go and play house with the second gentleman, and then since he has a whatever it is, I'm an effort army. They're now being recognized from family my husband, not anymore from my end. And
so it's like a transaction. This money comes to my family because mina saying sugangi. Our benefits are all right. So that leads me to the next question. Doesn't then Lobola make women or turn women into objects or products that can be bought or sold? When you look at it from this angle, all right, does Lobola then not turn women into objects?
It does.
Yeah,
it does actually. And looking at it, we'll be looking for us to actually agree with our culture as a loophole, but it does have a loophole. Because I was so okay, take it to which I cannot go back home and say I've met Trafford and Kafun Global. Because by meleli but it's a loophole. Because if it doesn't mean anything, and Gababe okay, no, Trafford is not comfortable with Lobola. But Stelani, so you cannot go home and say that.
Yeah, it objectifies women. I would be shocked if it doesn't, because the problem with Lobola is this: people want you to agree that Lobola is you thanking them, but when you're thanking someone, it's supposed to be something that is from the bottom of your heart. When you decide to know, me, I'm 10 million, that's supposed to be your decision. But then when you get there and then they tell you to Funa, this amount of money, this amount of money, this amount of money, then you're supposed to tell that person, the same person, no, it's not about Uti. You're thinking us still. It's not about you paying. You're still thinking us. That is the divide. That is where women start being objectified, because you are trying to force people to see that it's a thank you thing, but then it's really not. The problem.
Okay, so here's my question. You're saying Lobola objectifies women and turns them into products that can be bought or sold. Are you saying to me, in communities where there is no Lobola, women are not treated the very same way that women are treated? I'm talking about gender-based violence. I'm talking about domestic roles. In the Western communities where Lobola is paid, don't we find women going through the exact same thing?
Well, that's a gender role question, because look at it this way: when you get married, you are supposed to have a discussion about this, probably before you get married. Sorry, not after you get married. Before you get married, you're supposed to discuss about this and talk about your ideal marriage, because your mother and your father won't be there, and your aunties, and everyone will took the money. So when we're now together there, we're supposed to be in agreement what's going to happen in that place, because the problem starts where you have your idea of marriage. I'm saying there, and I also have now
your
my
own
notions
idea
of what's going to happen in that thing. Then we walk in and then we clash. That's why a lot of marriages in Africa probably.
So that conversation can happen with or without Lobola?
Yes.
Hold
it
on.
happens before that.
My question about Lobola objectifying women and whether women are not subject to the very same treatment even outside of Lobola.
I think they are. Well, I'm not really well versed with other cultures, but we read on the news where women are being violated in every way. We read about the gender roles, like he had said. But I think...
Okay, maybe let me read this.
Okay.
It's someone tweeted this and said, I honestly feel like Lobola is always scapegoated as an excuse for bad behavior, because even without it, men will still find a reason to try to own women. Even in cases where women are breadwinners, you still have to shrink yourself to, exactly. So which is why I'm saying, I think you agree?
I agree, because you go to any other community, even in India, where it's the woman who pays the Lobola, still women are being abused. So I think Lobola, it's one of the things that we are fighting. As it sends us as illegal as women. So eventually it will have to outdo it and just let it go.
There is no justification for beating up a woman.
There is
no justification. Whether you paid 5,000 United States dollars green as they are, there is no justification to lay a hand on a woman.
We're not saying Lobola is the only reason why people are bad,
exactly.
or husbands are bad. We are saying it's something that also adds on to that fire, because this is a fire that is already there. People are bad. People are bad outside there in the world, right? And you are giving them an excuse to be bad. That's the thing. Because we're not saying
also sibaniki reason.
You're giving someone because even if I do pay, there's no way that I would start treating you as my phone. I don't own you. Where are you? Come here, do this, that. No. And because it's about how you were raised as a person, right? So when you are raised in that type of way, nothing can then change you to become something else that you're not. Because Lobola is, for me, it's something that then highlights something that is already in that man. Bad, but not really. He doesn't have a reason for him to mistreat you. But then when that begins, where he looks at it this way, I spent all this money and you're now back talking at me. Some people say that Aren't you? You know, all those kind of
It's a
things.
woman.
Exactly.
So Lobola is justification to lay your hands on me. Because you Lobola me, you gave my dad money.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. That people do that.
That's not. There are instances where marriages that have, where a man hasn't paid Lobola, and I just decide, I love Trafford. Let me go and live with him. Then I go and live with him without my parents' blessings, and Lobola or no Lobola, I go to and live with you. And but then there are instances where the man still beats up the wife. Whether he's paid a cent or $5,000, no, they still beat them up.
Yuzwana, even when you're still dating,
Yeah.
before you even have met my parents,
Yes.
the moment I come to your one room,
Yes.
I'm expected to wash. I'm expected to cook. I'm expected to make sure your windows are see through. Exactly. Which is why I always feel like you are using Lobola to justify into call. But anyway, we need to keep it moving. I want us to talk about something that you highlighted. Do you think as women, if we went to our parents today and said, "Mina ngifuni ukubhadalelwa ilobola, when my boyfriend comes, I don't want," do you think they would listen to something like that?
Honestly, okay, myself, Mina Veli, I can never do that. I cannot call me.
Why?
I've got a very fierce uncle who's very, he's very cultural.
Yeah.
But I think we are moving as a people, as the human race. So okay, we are moving. With time, we'll understand. Gucci, real, this is not necessary.
Do you think it's an option? Do you think women should also be able to stand against their family and say, "Mina ngifuni ukulojola"?
Because very as it is, men can't say anything.
Really?
If men do say something, no. Because I don't understand why it's like this. Because the father, I don't know. Because when you become a father, probably when I become a father, I understand. I don't know.
Because the money is coming to your pocket. You will understand.
Because on bridge, open-minded, you can talk to them. The moment you cross the bridge, you're not saying,
you have sisters.
I have sisters.
You want them to just
you want them to get married?
They know that I want them to go for free. They know that. So I tell them. No, because, in Kai, we are open people. Everyone knows where everyone stands on a lot of things, on politics, on social stuff. Everyone knows, I'm like the oldest sister. Otherwise, my brother does not want to hear anyone talk about this. Although she loves it. Then I'm by two, the last two. They know, they agree with me with where I stand.
Is it not because you don't want to pay? So now they kind of like understand, because when I don't want to pay, so you're okay with them just going?
No.
It is.
Because that is the normal argument that people have. People, if I don't understand why we are like that as Africans, where if you have a chain of thought, it automatically goes back to, so when now exactly you are the one who, no, I can have a chain of thought without me, because I haven't wanted to lobola anyone. So there's no way for me to then just wake up one day and start talking about it, because I know it's coming. But still, I can still think without me being directly affected by it.
Okay.
It's possible. Okay. I don't know why people think it's not possible.
I respect that.
It's very, very possible that you can not agree with something that doesn't affect you. It's also okay. It can happen.
I read somewhere where this lady was saying, I don't want Lobola to be paid for me, and I'm going to tell my family that, and if they refuse, I'm giving them their money. Like, I'm not letting they carry any of the brunt. What do you have to say about a woman like that?
That's something that I would never do in 1,000 years. I'd rather sit at my mother's house every single day. No child, no husband. I'm going to die there. They're going to bury me there. I am not going to somebody's house without an appreciation to my parents. And knowing my dad, the way I know my dad, I don't think my dad will charge a person in Komezi 8. I'm actually afraid to do
We're open people. Everyone knows where everyone stands on a lot of things, on politics, on social stuff. Everyone knows. You know, I'm like the oldest sister. Ella's my brother does not want to hear anyone talk about this, although she loves it. Then I'm by two, the last two. They agree with me with where I stand.
Is it not because you don't want to pay? So now they kind of like understand, because when I don't want to pay, so you're okay with them just going.
No.
It is.
Because that is the normal argument that people have. People, if I don't understand why we're like that as Africans, where if you have a chain of thought, it automatically goes back to, so when now exactly you are the one who, no, I can have a chain of thought without me, because I haven't wanted to Lobola anyone. So there's no way for me to then just wake up one day and start talking about it, because I know it's coming. And but still, I can still think without me being directly affected by it.
Okay.
It's possible. I don't know why people think it's not possible.
I respect that.
It's very, very possible that you can not agree with something that doesn't affect you. It's also okay. It can happen.
I read somewhere where this lady was saying, you know, I don't want Lobola to be paid for me, and I'm going to tell my family.
Going to somebody's house without an appreciation to my parents. And knowing my dad, the way I know my dad, I don't think my dad will charge a person in Gomezi 8. I'm actually afraid to do good. Charge abantu mbuze at okay, I'm Sisi, you can now go. I know my dad understands. He will never abuse that particular culture. That is why me now, personally, Pauline Dendel, my ID number. I want a man who's going to come and pay Lobola.
Let's unpack that a little bit. We're now talking about Lobola in the context of a relationship between two people outside of family and culture and everything. Does a guy paying Lobola for you mean something or represent something? Because I hear her saying, ukuthi ngibona ukuthi userious ngami, ukuthi ngibona ukuthi uyangiappreciate lana emvela khona. You need to bring something, like you can't just come empty-handed. So is there a certain value that we attach to Lobola, like that is directly linked to us, our confidence, our self-esteem, and our stature in community? Because I know women out there, you compare Lobolas, 10,000 or 500 doesn't even get into the conversation.
Exactly.
So what is this value that we place on Lobola and our relations between two people?
I think originally it was meant to be like that. We are all that. But looking at the society now, we know marriage is abantu abakhitshela ngingazothola umuntu akhichela 32 ama-brahman. Ukhichela ama-32 brahman njalo kule ndoda engalali endlini who disrespects you, who does. Honestly, I think akusela value at this point. Originally, I think it was meant to be like that, but not in the present day.
Not in the present day. Would you help your man to pay Lobola for you?
Never in 1,000 lifetimes will I even give him one bond coin to pay Lobola.
Why?
I've got $500 and I love this woman and I want to live with her. Babazala will understand. I'm not helping him pay.
Why?
It undermines me. Because, you know, men have a certain way. You know, they will bring this up, and it will be a truth that hurts.
Oh,
remember what's Lobola, and that will be a knife in my heart. I mean, and as somebody is using it against me to insult me as an insult. So no, I'm not going to pay.
Would you allow your woman to help you pay Lobola? If you decide that, because clearly you're not about paying. But if you decide to pay, would you allow her to help you?
No, I think it depends on the situation. It depends on the person that I'll be dating.
Well, you can't afford it.
Well, I want to help you.
No. I think my family would help. I don't think I would allow it.
Why? Why?
Because, Andrew, you hear what she's saying. Because that comes from a situation where you're falling out of love. No one that loves you would say that, something like that to you. And
something like what?
Something like, look how criminal. Because it comes out from a situation when you get married, it doesn't mean it's going to be all roses. Right? One day you're going to fight, and one day he's going to say that.
Yes.
If you're going to get beaten.
Yes.
That's just...
Are you afraid that she's also going to say, Futi,
I'll just get an advantage.
I would
help you. Like the day that you decide to say, and I say I paid half.
Don't you dare!
No, I would like to think, a person would be offended by that is a person probably who's not really secure about their masculinity. Because if you are, I don't think those kind of statements. Because anyway, it's money that is lost. Because this is money that is just going, and it's not money that is going to, I don't know, benefit you in any way. Because if you pay, it's still money that's gone. If I pay, it's still money that is gone. Because you can pay lots of money into something that because the basic thing is you can still fall out of love with the person no matter how much money you pay for them. So this money, I don't know why it's paid.
But Trafford, do you ever think of it from this angle? We each have the burdens that we have to pay. Mina, as a woman, I have a burden that I have to pay. My womb has to sit little kids in there, and
you have to manufacture.
I have to give birth to babies and go through a body that's going to change. That's my burden as a woman. And don't you think Lobola is your burden as a man?
No. I think that's a wrong misconception. Because if you're saying that you as a woman would then carry those kids,
no,
then let me pay you. Because then let me pay you then, since you're the one who's going to be cooking. You're the one who's going to be. So if that's what you're asking us.
Pay us.
So that's what I'm saying. So then if
pay our fathers.
No. So if I am paying you, why did we date then? Why did we go through wasting our time? Throw the days, throw the dating, throw the I love you texts. If it's all going to come back to money.
It's something that I have to, as a woman, as a woman, things that I cannot give to you and say, no, I'm not just saying about the pregnancy only, but there are other things that we as women, we cannot pass on to you. This Lobola thing, do not pass it on to us.
No, I think the problem is, as a society, some things, bad things can be taught to a person who took right.
Okay.
Lobola is one of them. I don't know what, because women have taken this thing and they've mashed with it.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Okay, let's talk about something that I'm seeing in this conversation. Gender roles and Lobola. Let's say the roles were reversed. You don't pay Lobola anymore. Says Tatana sing two says. Would you agree? And I need you to speak for all men. Would you agree to wash the dishes? Would you agree to cook? Would you agree to do the laundry? Would you agree to change your kids' diapers? If it so happened that maybe even I'm working and you are not, would you agree to do that?
I think if Lobola was removed, no man would actually say no to all of what you just mentioned.
I don't think so.
No man will agree to cooking and cleaning and what diapers and what.
So,
I think some help. Some help, but not shoulder.
Why?
Can we listen to Kasha? Can we listen to
Okay, I think we shouldn't even be asking, would you be comfortable with this?
Exactly.
It should be automatic. We get into the house.
We're supposed to be doing these things.
I shouldn't even ask you.
Really, you should be open. Because that's the question now. Do you love this person? I see that something, and then I just sit there and don't do anything. Do you guys even love each other? When you dated, didn't you see the signs of this person might be? I don't know which word to use, but anyway, yeah. That's what I'm saying. The person might not be good for you. Because this is now something else that goes back to the mothers. Probably the mothers then teach their children that way. Maybe then lie. Because yeah, that's the thing. People then begin to be taught along those lines because this is how it is. It's a chain. The problem now is you guys, you want to remove parts of this deck of cards, then leave everything else intact. That becomes a problem. Once it let's destroy the whole thing and start afresh. No one wants that. I don't know why women don't want that. Because you can't then remove the parts of which men should now be 21st century men. Now you should understand I'm a woman and should understand this. But then the whole table, the way it's set in a way we're supposed to be going in a traditional manner. Because you can't then say my guy should be a 21st century man, but Jack go global. That's
but are they two mutually exclusive? Like, does one nullify the other, or does one cement the other? Because I feel like like they really shouldn't. Like pay your monies. So and remember, ilobola is about relationship between the two families. It's for your uncles and my aunties and forever, you know. But me and you, we really, and you talk about love, which is what I like so much. Because umuntu othandayo should not hang their $10,000 over their head. Because umuntu, like mina lo mngani wami owathi ngicela ungithengele city kitchen unit amandebele ngifuna ukufaka imiganu kwathiwa ngisabhadala ilone engakulobola ngayo.
Well, it's like the truth. It's like the truth. He's broke.
So you're punishing me. You're punishing me for
actually, no, babe, at this point, angabilayo. But now, but umuntu okuthandayo should not react to his dollars the way I think.
True. And he took his money. What?
Exactly. That's the problem. That's the problem. Where women, you want men to act like this doesn't hurt them when it does.
What? Why are you hurting? You spoke about laziness. No.
You're lazy. The reason why men don't want the modern men, I've seen it quite a number of times and I've heard it. Men don't want to pay lobola, and it emanates from the fact that men have become lazy. They don't want to work.
No.
You work 7 years, but when you see you go back and work another 7 years. Laziness.
It's not about being lazy.
What is it?
Back then, people weren't educated. We as we are right now, because you can see something and then decide is this thing good or bad. Because you can't just say a guy who died probably who 19 BC before Christ or whatever decides what I'm going to be doing the rest of my life.
It's culture. Culture is like that. You don't just wake up and be like, I'm food. It doesn't work like that. One other thing. If today lobola was $10, 10 bond,
yes.
Would you agree or would you disagree? Would you pay it?
I would still disagree.
Why?
Why the $10? Because you can't really tell me two families gonna come together. Who said that? Who sat down and said
one?
No, I'm asking you, Pauline. Who said two families cannot come together?
They can still
because coming together is just me saying, hi, my name is Tryford, you're Hlengiwe. We now get to know each other. It's as simple as that. You can't then say, just because someone many years ago decided this is how you're supposed to be doing things, we should just continue as it is. Because culture isn't something that's written back then. Culture is that what we all agree that culture is. That's why polygamy is dying. That's why a lot of things are changing. Because what we all agree with into a bed. But I don't understand why people still don't want to agree with lobola is
Thank you for bringing up polygamy. That's the reason why men don't want to pay lobola, because wafuni fruit salad, so I won't be able to pay for all these women, but I still want all of them.
That's a mindset where you're saying men cheat. That's so
no, I'm not talking about cheating. I'm saying polygamy, like proper polygamy, having marriages with 7 different women.
No, I don't think with the type of women that we have right now, a man actually want to have that many women.
I wish we had all day to talk about lobola. But for now, as we wind down our conversation, I want to hear your thoughts. What does the future of lobola look like for you? And what is the best case scenario when it comes to the practice of ilobola? We'll start with you.
Well, I think it will keep on getting higher.
Prices?
Yeah, the average prices. Because right now, when I was reading somewhere today in the morning, they were saying the average money that is being paid is 3,000 right now. And I think the average will keep on going up. Probably one day someone is going to say it's bad, but probably with people that say if you say it's bad, then you're called lazy. I don't know what's going to happen.
Do you see lobola ever being eradicated?
For me, no. I don't see the signs of lobola being eradicated. I just think it's going to continue. And probably there are going to be pockets of people who then say, no, it's bad. Because I know I'm going to be one of them.
People like you.
Yes, I know I'm going to be one of them. Who say, no, Cherry, we want my daughter. You really love her.
So I want to know what your pocket wants to see happening when it comes to lobola.
Well, my pocket, I would like people to just come together. Because this is just... We're celebrating love. We're celebrating that we found each other. We're supposed to just stay as simple as that. Because if it's as simple as that, no one walks into a marriage. I know steps, so a bit lower. people will just walk into a relationship or a marriage, they're equally footed and they both can agree what's supposed to be happening in that marriage. And people can become happier in those marriages and probably enjoy life.
All right. How do you see Lobola evolving, and what would you like to see happening?
I think I would like to see a situation where imbuzi kaphawu ibuye imbuzi sifake i-price stand lapha, introduce each other. This is my uncle, this is my aunt, this is who. Because not only do we get abused in my marriages by the men that we marry, also by our families. I know of people who have said, gone back home and said, okay, I'm not happy, this is happening in my marriage. I tell you because so I think it's also footy conversations that we should start having. Let's start having these conversations at home. Mom, is this really necessary? Baba Mdala, is this really necessary? But I think it's, like I said, it has outlived its purpose.
I'd want to agree with her. I think when it comes to the issue of Lobola, it's not about me and Trafford who have found each other and are in love. But it's an issue of our families, especially the girls' parents. I think they need to be educated and be reminded of the reasons why Lobola is paid, and not to punish their son-in-law, but to bless this new union. They need to know what it's not a money-making scheme. Because in cars, I guess if I'm paying $10,000 they think, that's my $10,000 walking around. No, they need to be educated and be babe words with Lobola is not a punishment, but it's supposed to be done right. Now I'm going to Trafford cent. It's okay. I mean, take his 1 cent and let him go. And let him go. Give him his wife. I think our families need to be taught this. No, we need to do the right thing. Even about parents, you know, they will rejoice if the whole process is done properly.
And there you have it. I think, like Gosha said, above it all, we need to start having conversations in our different families, in our different communities, because our situations are chiana. So what may work for one may not work for other. What do I have to say? Si Loboleni. That is it for the girls' table. I'm out.